Good morning, students. So far, we have discussed two concepts, that is, creative writing and story writing in the fourth unit. Now, the third concept is precise writing. What is precise writing, and what is the difference between precise writing and paraphrase writing? Precise writing is an exercise in compression. It means compressing the information is called precise writing. It is a gist writing. The information is communicated within few words. For example, a original text is given to you. You are asked to precise the information. What does it mean? It means you have to precise, you have to compress the given information. You have to see that the meaning should not be lost. So you have to precise the information of given information, and you have to delete the redundant information, that is unnecessary information within given text, and you have to express and you have to see that the meaning should not be lost. That is what is called precise writing. Precise writing can also be called as gist writing. So the difference between precise writing and paraphrase writing. Paraphrase means you have to elaborate. You have to write extensively, elaborate it. Elaboration. So if you write longer than the original text or given text is paraphrase writing. If you write shorter than the original text, that is precise writing. Here it means in paraphrase writing you have to paraphrase it. You have to write longer than. You have to write more information. You have to write more words. You have to construct more sentences in the paraphrase writing. In the precise writing, you have to make it short, and you have to see that the meaning should not be lost. And brevity, you have to maintain brevity. Brevity is the soul of wit. And you have to write brief expression. So these you need to consider, that precise writing and paraphrase writing. So here deleting the redundant information, unnecessary information. And if you look at every passage consists of 4 ideas. It means main idea, subordinate idea, it means related ideas, and instances or examples, and unrelated ideas. So information, if you look at a paragraph or if you look at a text, you find 4 major things in a text or a paragraph or in a book. Here you can find main ideas, you can find related ideas, subordinate ideas, you can find examples too, and you have unrelated ideas. When you precisely write, or when you write precisely, you have to delete these unrelated ideas. You can also delete the examples, and you can make the sentences short, and you can use the right vocabulary in the right place. So all these are required in precise writing. Now you can ask me the question, what are the uses of precise writing? So precise writing is generally used for careless readers. Careless readers in the sense the people who are careless, who do not care about what you write. So it is very much useful for those careless readers. And precise writing, it improves your overall writing skills too. It projects or it presents the exact information, and it projects or presents the exact logical, short, concise and precise information. And precise information can also be used to discriminate what is essential, what is non-essential, what is important and what is non-important. So Precise writing can also be used to maintain accuracy of the information. Accuracy of the information, that is also more important. So for all these purposes, precise writing is very much useful. And what are the techniques that are involved in precise writing? For example, you have to understand the main idea, subordinate idea, example, and unrelated idea. Let me give you a passage, and you are supposed to identify what is main idea, or what is subordinate or related idea, and what is an example or instance, and what is unrelated or redundant idea, so redundant information. For example, unlike Samuel Johnson, I enjoy going to school. Unlike Samuel Johnson, I enjoy going to school. Regular attendance is important for the development of the knowledge. Look at the sentences here. I want you to observe very carefully. Unlike Samuel Johnson, I enjoy going to school. First sentence in a paragraph. Second sentence, regular attendance is required for development of knowledge. Second sentence. The third sentence, example, we not only learn from teachers, but also we learn from nature and friends. And we learn not only from the teachers, but also we learn from nature and friends. Fourth sentence, my brother is a good joker. We have four sentences in this paragraph. Unlike my friend Samuel Johnson, I enjoy going to school. First sentence. Second sentence, we have regular attendance is important for development of knowledge. Second sentence. Third sentence, we have your example, we not only learn from teachers, but also we learn from the nature and the friends. And fourth sentence, my brother is a good joker. If you look at these four sentences, what could be the main idea, or what is the main idea in this paragraph? So if you look at this main idea, regular attendance is important for the development of knowledge is main idea. When it comes to subordinate idea, it is supporting idea. That is, unlike my friend Samuel Johnson, I enjoy going to school. That is supporting or subordinate idea. Because here regular attendance is required, it is being supported by the first sentence. That is the reason why I call it as a supporting idea or subordinate idea. The third sentence here, for example, we not only learn from the teachers, but also we learn from the nature and friends. This is an example. It comes under the third category called example or for instance, for example. The fourth sentence, my brother is a good joker, it is nowhere related to the information. That is why it is unrelated idea. So a passage may consist of main ideas, subordinate ideas. Sometimes a passage may consist of main idea, subordinate and examples only. Sometimes a passage may consist of four, main, subordinate or supporting or example or unrelated. So depending on the context, we need to decide whether it is main, subordinate or example or unrelated. So the steps that are involved or the techniques that are required for precise writing. So three kinds of techniques are important or required for precise writing. The first technique is what is reading. Reading is very important for precise writing. First, read the paragraph given or read the text given or read the information given. Second, again read the information given. Third, read the information. So reading is very important. You have to read the information. You have to read the given information, given text, given paragraph thoroughly. When you read for several times, you will come to a conclusion or you will understand it very precisely, concisely, clearly, accurately, acutely. So that's the reason why. So the process of selection of passages, sentences, when you read several times, you will come to know that this is the main idea. So that's what reading is an important technique. Thorough reading is an important technique for precise writing. And after reading, the second point, the second technique that is involved in precise writing is writing. So after reading, you come to a conclusion, you decide and you find out main ideas, subordinate ideas, instances or examples and unrelated ideas. And In writing, the second step that is involved in precise writing is the second step that is involved in precise writing is writing process. So you have to start the writing. After reading, then you have to start writing, and you have to prepare a draft. Sample draft is required first, then final, and then you have to make changes, additions, deletions, rectifications. You have to do several things in the writing process, and then you have to only write main ideas of each paragraph. After that, what are the subordinate ideas, and what is the correlation, cohesion. This is very important. Cohesion is how you are connecting sentences either through grammar or through words. Correlation, how you are connecting sentences through ideas, correction of ideas and connection of sentences, and and opinions, and whether it is a fact or opinion or judgment or truth or scientifically proved one. And if you are mentioning the citation, mention the citation. So all these need to be carefully written when you write precisely. So whether it is a fact in the sense it is proved. If you are using the word, when you write a fact, it is practically, scientifically proven. When you write a statement, it is not a fact. It is somebody's opinion, somebody's judgment, somebody's opinion, somebody's understanding. That's a statement. Statement is different from judgment. Statement is different from fact. Again, fact is different from opinion. So this you need to understand. So you need to write. You need to jot down main ideas of each paragraph. You need to jot down the subordinate ideas too, and you need to be careful of cohesion, correlation, of lexical cohesion, and grammatical cohesion. How we are connecting sentences through words, and how we are connecting sentences through grammar, and how we are connecting sentences with an idea. For example, if you are writing a first sentence about India, second sentence about Africa, nowhere related. The second sentence also should be about India only, because you are writing your main idea is about India. That's the reason why you should be very careful of writing. You should be very careful of writing. And second draft, if possible, is required. Maybe third and fourth drafts also may be required, depending on the text given. And the last process or last technique that is involved in precise writing is revision. After writing is done, you have to revise the text that is written. You have to revise the text that is written. When you have made your second draft or final draft, or carefully revise it before writing, or before publishing, or before submitting, and before making out a fair and fine copy. And look for mistakes, look for rectifications, look for errors, and look for grammatical and spelling mistakes, spelling errors, and correct them, rectify them. And don't forget to give a title. A title also may be required. So you have to give a logical title, an interesting title. A logical, short, sweet, and logical title is required for precise writing. So these are all techniques involved in precise writing. We'll discuss letter writing in the next video. Thank you.